Well, I see nobody's in here yet, but I'm gonna go ahead. Oh well, dang! Hey, two people, just that fast. Um, Welcome back, guys, and welcome back, me. So, I was MIA last week. I managed to pick up 2 gigs, and I haven't worked in almost 2 years. Next week will be like 2 years. So I jumped on that. It was just nice to be out of the house doing something. Um, yeah, because for the past 2 years, the only places I've really been is the corner store, the doctor's office, and Walmart. It's going a little bit stir crazy, but it was fun, yeah, to get out and just do something. So today I am not doing the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month thing. I'm going to be doing that tonight. Today I just want to catch up on some cases, a couple of cases from last year, and I got like one I think from this year. So let's get to it. So the first case, y'all might remember Cash Gurdon from Dallas, Texas, who was murdered last year in, I want to say, March. Um, he was taken from his crib, well, toddler bed. He was taken from his toddler bed in the wee hours of the night. The next morning, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, a jogger found his body in the intersection on her route. There was an arrest made of a family friend. I believe he's 18 or 19 years old, Darian Brown, and he is now in the process of determining competency to stand trial. So let's take a look at this. Okay.
A man charged with murdering a 4-year-old Dallas boy after taking that sleeping child from his bed will not stand trial anytime soon. Hello, I'm Steve Eager.
And I'm Heather Hayes. Darian Brown was declared incompetent for trial. Police say Brown kidnapped 4-year-old Cash Gurnan and repeatedly stabbed him. The boy's body was found on a neighborhood street. Fox 4's Alex Boyer takes us through the latest in this case. Alex.
Hi, guys. And this is the decision that his defense team was really hoping for. They maintained that Brown was hallucinating and in a trance like state at the time of the murder and also suffers from other major depressive orders. Well, the prosecution brought in its own medical expert who also concluded that Brown is incompetent to stand trial. Inside this Dallas County courtroom Friday, a magistrate declared capital murder suspect Darian Brown incompetent to stand trial.
He can finally, now get the help that he needs so that he can assist us in his representation.
Heath Harris and Valerie Baston are Brown's defense attorneys. Brown was arrested last May and later indicted for the murder of 4-year-old Cash Gurnan. Investigators said Brown was the man seen on home surveillance video taking Gurnan from the bedroom where he was sleeping. Gurnan was in the care of a woman who lived in a home off Saddle Ridge Drive in Dallas. She knew Brown. Gurnan's body was found by a jogger 8 blocks away from the home on a neighborhood street the next morning. Investigators said the boy was stabbed to death.
Maybe someday we can, get to the facts of this case, which we believe are going to show that he does have a mental defect that potentially may have led to this tragedy, and that he may be entitled to an insanity defense.
The competency decision was made after the prosecution's own psychiatric expert determined after conducting a mental evaluation that Brown was unfit to stand trial. The defense's doctor came to the same conclusion months ago.
Both reports basically reflect what Mr. Harris and I have been experiencing with our client, Darian, that he is not competent and that he needs to get treatment.
Harris says Brown will likely be transferred to Vernon Psychiatric Hospital once a bed opens up.
Our society has rules regarding competency.
Dr. Robert Sanders is a former prosecutor and defense attorney. Sanders says it's possible Brown will never be deemed competent to stand trial. If he is, and the defense does indeed raise an insanity defense, the prosecution will have the burden to prove Brown knew that his actions were wrong.
In order for that insanity defense to work, he's got to be insane at the time of the act.
Brown's defense team knows the public wants answers.
We ask people to be patient in forming their opinions or their judgment about this.
And I contacted the district attorney's office after the hearing. A spokeswoman tells me that at this point, they have no comment.
Hi, love you and J2. Welcome to the chat.
While they were visiting a college campus.
And I've been following that case from the beginning. I haven't really reported on it because it happened a few months before. Hi, Kamojo. It happened a few months before I created my channel, but I think I did cover it like once or twice, some updates on it. And honestly, in my opinion, I really don't think that that boy was alone in doing this. I think it was him and someone else. Someone else is involved somewhere. I really don't know how, and so I'm not going to go into that. But that's just my personal opinion. I also don't feel like this kid is ever going to be determined competent to stand trial, just from things that I heard during the course of like when it was fresh and everything was happening. He does have a history of like mental illness, and I believe he has a history of serious mental illness. And so I really don't think he's ever going to be determined competent to stand trial because he's not all there. So the next one that I want to talk about a little is Angel Nicole Overstreet. And Angel has been missing for about a year and a half now. Let's see, where is it? Right there. Angel has been missing for about a year and a half now. She was only a 3 months old when she disappeared. The post says, please share. Don't just scroll on past this baby. Angel deserves to be found. She deserves to be noticed and not forgotten. Please continue sharing in an effort to keep Angel's name and face in the forefront of the public's eye. If we don't stand up for children, we don't stand for much. Angel's life matters, and we need to help getting her face out everywhere. It takes only a few seconds, and that is so true. But yeah, Angel's been missing for close to a year and a half now. Let me see, June, July, August, September, October. Actually, yeah, a year and a half, almost to the date. Says she was last visually confirmed whereabouts was May 2nd, 2021 in Huntington, West Virginia. Angel was last with Shannon Patrick Overstreet. Age at disappearance, 3 months. Height, 1 foot 6 inches. Weight, 8 pounds. 8 pounds at 3 months, that's not very much. Hair, dark color with reddish tint. Eyes, blue. She has a strawberry-shaped birthmark on the back of her neck. Missing Persons Advocacy Network flyer created by Kathy Pierce. If you have any information on Angel's whereabouts or the circumstances of her disappearance, please call the Huntington Police Department at 304-696-4420, or if you want to remain anonymous, you can call 304-696-4444. There's really not, it's hard with babies because they change so much and they can look so different from like at 3 months old as opposed to a year old, to a stranger. Now, to me, all my kids look the same as when they were born. To me, they really haven't changed other than becoming adults, growing facial hair or whatever. But to a stranger, this picture of this baby really doesn't do anything because it's a year and a half later. She is what? 3 months, she'd be 21 months old now, almost 2 years old. So to us, she would look extremely different. However, that strawberry-shaped birthmark, that's something you can't miss and you can't mistake. So I would advise that if you think a child that you see is her, try to get a look at the back of their neck, if at all possible, inconspicuously. Because I feel like that would be the main thing that would have you notice it. Says what this baby didn't just walk off. They have to have a suspect. Well, she was with her father. You know what? I'm gonna find a quick article about her because I don't remember all of the details off the top of my head, but I think she was in the custody of her father and or the man who was believed to be her father. And yeah, I think I got it. In the custody of the man who was believed to be her father at the time. And his story is that he had already turned Angel over to CPS like a day or two before she was supposedly went missing. And it's kind of complicated because there's like two states involved or something. Let's see what we can get out of this article. Says Huntington, the investigation into the disappearance of a baby girl continues in Huntington. Huntington police are still searching for Angel Nicole Overstreet, who was last seen in early May 2021. Authorities first reported that she was missing on May 25th and said her whereabouts since May 8th cannot be confirmed. She was 3 months old at the time. That is so weird. She was first reported missing on May 25th. That would be 17 days after her last confirmed known whereabouts. I haven't heard where the father is now, but hopefully we can dig up some information on him. According to HPD, at this time, West Virginia Child Protective Services representatives had contacted authorities saying they were following up with Angel's father, Shannon Overstreet, on a custody issue from Kentucky. The CPS worker said he told them he turned Angel over to CPS 2 weeks earlier, but investigators were not able to substantiate a custody exchange. And what I've said about that is if he did indeed turn Angel over to someone, is it possible that someone who had some type of knowledge of what was going on in this case pretended or had someone pretend to be a protective services worker and come and take Angel? If that makes sense. Every time I read that part, that's what I kind of think of. The following day, May 26, HPD officers said they were concerned for Angel's safety. However, an Amber Alert was never issued due to the amount of time she had already been missing. I don't think they should have foregone the Amber Alert, even though she had been missing for a while. That's kind of what we have going on right now in Michael Vaughn's case. You know, now they have all the criteria to issue an Amber Alert, but they still haven't. And it could be because they feel like too much time has passed. But they have a suspect vehicle. They have a description of the child. He's under 17. He actually meets all the criteria for an Amber Alert right now. And so, and even with Summer Wells, she technically did not meet the criteria to issue an Amber Alert. The only criteria that she met was that she was under the age of 17. She was 17 or under. She didn't meet the criteria for a known suspect or a vehicle description. I don't know how they considered whether or not she was in imminent danger or not, but technically Summer Wells did not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert. However, they had one posted for her for over a year on NCMEC, and she still has an Amber Alert in Tennessee posted on the TBI website. So I don't think they should have foregone issuing an Amber Alert in Angel's case based solely off the amount of time that she had been missing. I thought Kentucky was part of this case as well. Huntington, West Virginia is very close to Kentucky border. I'm from Kentucky and attended college not far from Marshall University in West Virginia. Well, it said here that there was something about a custody issue. If we go back up here, it says, according to HPD, at that time, West Virginia Child Protective Services representatives had contacted authorities saying they were following up with Angel's father, Shannon Overstreet, on a custody issue from Kentucky. The flyer. Let's see if it said that. I don't think the flyer said that the mother was the last one to see her. All right. Angel's last visually confirmed whereabouts was May 2nd, 2021 in Huntington, West Virginia. Angel was last seen with Shannon Patrick Overstreet. That's the one that they believed was the dad at the time. DNA has since proven that he's not the father. Age at disappearance 3 months. Height 1 foot 6 inches. Weight 8 pounds. Hair dark color with reddish tint. Eyes blue. She has a strawberry shaped birthmark on the back of her neck. So we don't. Let's see. Let me get back to this other page. Angel Nicole Overstreet. Oh no, Shannon is a guy. I actually know a guy in real life named Shannon. But yeah, I usually tend to think of Shannon as a girl's name too. What was the reason for turning her over to CPS? Well, I think the reason, because they said there was some type of custody issue going on in Kentucky. If I remember the details correctly, there was like the custody issue going on in Kentucky, and then you had West Virginia's CPS involved who actually had the case on Angel because I believe the mother lived in West Virginia. And then once it was got in the air that Shannon might not be Angel's father, then and that it might be this other certain guy. I believe that guy or either his family was kind of pushing to get the baby, and Shannon was kind of having that y'all ain't getting her under no circumstances. So people also think that he possibly hid Angel with someone else who's just not been found out yet. That's one of the theories that's going around. He hid her with someone to keep her from going to her actual dad or his family. Okay, let's see. Where we at? CPS worker said he told them he turned Angel over to CPS 2 weeks earlier, but investigators were not able to substantiate a custody exchange. So they were not able to verify through protective services that he had actually given Angel to anyone in that agency. The search for Angel soon spanned into Kentucky, and authorities even drained and searched a pond on her father's property in Carter County, Kentucky, for evidence of her disappearance or even Angel herself. The search of the pond ended with authorities finding no evidence of Angel or her disappearance. The HPD has partnered with several agencies in the search for Angel, including the Kentucky State Police, Federal Bureau of Investigations, Cabell County Prosecutor's Office, Olive Hill, Kentucky Volunteer Fire Department, Carter County, Kentucky, they spelled it wrong, Attorney Brian Hayes, David Castle, the West Virginia State Police Crime Scene Response Team Coordinator, and the West Virginia Intelligence Fusion Center. The Huntington Police Department would like to thank the public for their continued support in our investigation into the disappearance of Angel Nicole Overstreet, the infant missing since early May 2021, HPD officials said in a statement this afternoon. We also want to encourage the public ensure the public our investigation remains active. Angel is described as having blue eyes, and at the time of her disappearance, dark hair with reddish tint. She also has a strawberry-shaped birthmark on the back of her neck. Police ask that anyone with any knowledge of Angel Overstreet or her disappearance contact the Huntington Police Department at 304-696-4420 or their anonymous tip line at 304-969-4444. It just slipped my mind. There was something that I read that I wanted to kind of talk about. But yeah, it is still an active and ongoing investigation. And yes, love you, MJ. I think an Amber Alert, even this late in the game, would do a lot to bring attention to this case. Oh, that was it. I wanted to point out she has a strawberry shaped butter birthmark, but it's been clarified that it is not a strawberry birthmark where the skin is like red and as opposed to like a darker brown or black color of a normal mole or whatever. This is only strawberry shaped. It actually looks like the shape of a strawberry. It's not red. It's not a strawberry mark. Um, Angel, let's see if we can find anything on her dad before I move on to the next one. Shannon Overstreet. Here's something. See if we can find something newer in the past month on him. Nope, nothing in the past month. Okay. So this one, man faces attempted first-degree murder charges in mother's beating. So this is her. This is the one who originally was believed to be the father. This is Shannon Overstreet. And it says a man from Huntington accused of badly beating his mother now faces an attempted first-degree murder charge. Shannon Patrick Overstreet, who's in his late 30s, was indicted by a Cabell County grand jury, according to the prosecutor's office. Overstreet had initially faced a malicious assault charge in connection with the case. Huntington said the incident happened in March 2021. Weird, because that's the same month that Angel disappeared. At his mother's home, she suffered, quote, significant brain bleed, unquote, from the attack, investigators say. Shannon Overstreet is the father, or the once assumed to be father, of Angel Nicole Overstreet, a 3-month-old girl who police say has been missing since the beginning of May. He has not been named as a suspect or person of interest in Angel's disappearance. Okay, so she disappeared, not that same month. So that is the latest on her dad. I believe the last time that I searched like for information on him when we did the Angel Nicole Overstreet live, that was basically what was out there then too. So there's really nothing new on him. Okay. Next up, that was the picture of him. Let me open it back up and show it. I didn't even realize that I wasn't sharing the tab at first. Here we go. And this is Shannon. Let me zoom in some on that. So this is the one who was once thought to be her dad. This is Shannon Patrick Overstreet. You can notice that he does have some tattoos on his neck. An attempted murder charge against your own mother. And he might possibly have some other stuff on his criminal record. I'm not a sleuth. I don't know how to look that stuff up. But if anybody knows how to look up criminal records in like Kentucky and West Virginia, and you come up with some information on him, send it to me, and I'll definitely come and share that in a video. All right. Next one up is all right, Amari Nicholson. I don't know if you all remember this case. Let me refresh the tab so I don't have the right video played. Amari was 2 years old. He was from, thank you, Kamojo. He was from Las Vegas, Nevada. The short side of the story is that Amari's mother went to Colorado to help her mother, Amari's grandmother, after the grandmother had surgery on her ankle or her foot because her dog had bit her. And she sent tickets for both Amari and his mother to come to Colorado for that time. However, his mother, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head, and I should be able to because it's a regular name, but it's spelled different. It'll come up though. But Amari's mother ended up going to Colorado alone. She had left Amari in the care of her then boyfriend, Terrell Rhodes. Terrell called the mother on, I believe it was a Sunday morning, and told her that basically Amari was missing. Someone claiming to be his paternal aunt had come to the door to get him and ran off with him while he had his back turned. Long story short, it turns out that he had actually murdered Amari, and Amari was found in a drainage ditch at the hotel next to the hotel that they were living in. So this clip here is not actually about the case. This is something that happened afterward when they had him in the interrogation room. He was actually able to grab hold of one of the officer's guns in there. And so I'm going to play this real quick and then we'll read the article. Oh, why no sound?
Terrell Rhodes.
Let me rewind it.
Video grabs an accused child killer grabs a homicide detective's gun. New video first obtained by the I-Team shows how that situation could have turned deadly. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Brian Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez. The I-Team has been leading coverage on this tragic story. Vanessa Murphy is here with more on evidence at the center of the case. And Vanessa, this video landed Terrell Rhodes with even more charges, right?
Yeah, Terrell Rhodes faces a murder charge and now additional charges, including attempted murder after he grabbed the homicide detective's gun. Metro police say he had just confessed to killing 2-year-old Amari Nicholson. He likely knew he was headed to jail. This is Terrell Rhodes inside an interview room. One hand is cuffed to the table. He tries to slip his hand out. Metro police say he had just admitted to beating Amari Nicholson to death and burying his body. And he drew this map to show where. Detectives come back in the room to calm him down, and he pulls the gun from Detective Opal Deed's holster. She and another detective struggle to get the loaded firearm back. 2 other officers enter the room. About a minute after he took the gun, Rhodes appears to be restrained. Got it. The next day, May 12th, investigators found Amari's body near Paradise and Twain. The I-Team obtained photos presented to the grand jury as evidence. One, which we've chosen not to air, shows that the toddler was buried in his footsie pajamas. This photo shows exactly where Amari's remains were found. This was after a community search for Amari for a week. Rhodes previously claimed to 8 News Now that a mystery woman took the child while his girlfriend, Amari's mother, was out of town.
What's really sickening is that people is making assumptions, thinking that I have something to do with it, that I have her manipulated in some way.
The 27-year-old has since declined the I-Team's request for an interview.
Stop resisting! Grab the cop's gun. Will you relax?
The I-Team has learned that Metro policy allows officers to be armed in an interview room when there are 2 or more officers present. The department also tells me the critical incident review team is examining the incident with a focus on policy, tactics, and training. The findings will be used to evaluate current processes and make future recommendations. The head of the police union also sent me a statement saying this shows officers do everything they can to preserve a life and highlights the lengths suspects are willing to go. His full statement at 8newsnow.com.
I just want to say that the stupidest thing I've ever seen involving law enforcement was that right there. Whoever made the policy that it's okay for officers to be armed in an interrogation room was a real dummy, because you got to think about it. They're in there interrogating all kinds of criminals, rapists, murderers, blah, blah,
back here at
blah.
home.
How did someone not foresee that happening? All right, in the article, a judge has set a trial date for the man accused of killing his girlfriend's 2-year-old son for 2023. So he'll be going to trial next year. Terrell Rhodes, 29, is charged with the May 21 murder of Amari Nicholson. According to an arrest report, Rhodes admitted to police he killed the boy inside a unit at the Emerald Suites. Rhodes said he hit Amari 3 or 4 times with his fist before the toddler's face turned blue and he stopped breathing. And Rhodes attempted CPR. I seriously doubt he attempted CPR. I seriously doubt it. He more than likely went straight into how to cover this up. Rhodes' trial was originally supposed to start this past May. A judge set a new date of April 2023 this week. The date could be moved again following a January 2023 hearing. Rhodes faces a first-degree murder charge related to the boy's death, in addition to 2 counts of attempted murder, 4 counts of assault on a police officer with a deadly weapon, and 4 counts of resisting a police officer with the use of a firearm after he took the gun from 2 Metro detectives and tried to kill them while being interviewed about the boy's death. Rhodes pleaded not guilty in 2021. Prosecutors have decided they will not seek the death penalty. He remains in Clark County Detention Center without bail. I think that when someone murders a child, especially a small child, like under 5, under 10, whatever, especially in a case where it's a small child or a child that has some type of disability, that the death penalty should be the first thing on the table. Because like I always say, when an adult kills an adult, you can make some kind of sense of it. There's a motivation there. The person can always say, well, they stole from me, they lied to me, they slept with my spouse, whatever they did. But if you kill an adult, there's always some kind of reason that you can put on the table that might be logical. But to kill a child, what are you killing a child for? They cried and the reasons that we get is they wouldn't stop crying, they wet their pants in potty training, they wouldn't go to sleep, they wouldn't eat their dinner, and then you got the crazy excuses where they were stealing food from the refrigerator or some dumb crap like that. There is no reason to ever kill a child or to harm a child, and I feel like that it should be federal law that when a person kills a child, the death penalty is on the table automatically. That's just my 2 cents on that, though. But if you want to look into Amari Nicholson's case for yourself, there is definitely a lot of coverage out there about it. It was covered a lot, especially on the YouTube channels. I used to have a black cat. I loved it. It was so pretty and fluffy. Okay, next up we have, let me go ahead and make this bigger. This is some tiny writing. And we can see them better. So this one is Florida parents arrested after 6-year-old found dead with head in hotel toilet. Like he was drinking water. Let's take a look at these 2 monsters, mother and father. 6-year-old boy was found with his head in the toilet of a Florida hotel earlier this month, like he was drinking water, according to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Discovered by deputies badly injured and without a pulse, the boy was taken to a hospital and placed on life support for a brain bleed, local outlets reported Wednesday. 5 other children were also in the room at the night's end, all displaying signs of physical abuse. Their parents, who moved the family into the hotel in April, now face several child neglect charges. Larry Rhodes and Bianca Blaze initially told deputies that the children, who ranged in age from infancy to 6 years old, had gotten into a fight according to the arrest report. But when a 4-year-old with fresh cuts around the mouth was asked, he said, "Daddy hit me." Later, Blaze told investigators that Rhodes had whooped the siblings in the past and that he had recently run out of prescription to treat schizophrenia. The 6-year-old remains in critical condition. This is a case that I came across maybe a month and a half ago, and I shared with you guys, and I'm just wanted to follow up on it. There's really not a whole lot of new news in it, but I just want to keep these names and faces out there because this is a case that I want to follow to the end and see how it turns out, because it made me so angry that this little child was trying to drink water out of a toilet, out of a hotel toilet at that. So when you get to the point that you're trying to drink toilet water, something is severely wrong. You're seriously thirsty. So I have to think that these people weren't feeding him, weren't giving him anything to drink, weren't taking good care. He was probably the Cinderella phenomenon child in this family. The Cinderella phenomenon is when there are multiple children in a family, but only one of them is singled out for abuse and neglect. We see this in this case. We saw this in the name fell right out of my brain. Oh goodness, what was it? The Wimbush family. They had one child. They had 8 children, but one of them was singled out. He was locked in the basement, barely fed. He wasn't allowed to bathe even for like 18 months. It was so bad that when protective services finally pulled him out of the house, he had mold and mildew growing from his skin. I have never in my life even thought a human could carry mold and mildew on their skin. That is how badly he was neglected. He was so weak that the protective service worker said that he could barely walk from the abuse that he has suffered, the neglect, the not feeding him. Ariel Sellers, yeah, Ariel wasn't the only one that was being abused, but she was the worst of the abuse. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And that could be what went on with Harmony Montgomery. The other kids we haven't heard that they were abused or neglected that I can recall. So Harmony was the Cinderella in that family. So yeah, I just want to keep these faces and these names, Bianca Blaze and Larry Rhodes. I want to keep these names in the news. Gabriel Fernandez was a god-awful case. It was so horrible. I might cover that one day just to keep his name out there. But yeah, I just want to keep their names and faces out there because I'm going to follow this case through to the end. I really want to see what kind of punishment they ultimately end up receiving, because that's just, man, I can't even say what I want to say, because if I say what I want to say, then it's going to be not pretty. All right, next, Quinton Simon, I'm sorry. Now, this is a case that I know everybody has been following. I haven't reported on it before, but let me...
Tonight, the community is shocked again as the case in the disappearance of Quinton Simon takes yet another turn. As our Andy Cole reports, when news broke of Quinton's mom and grandmother out reportedly drinking, it had some people feeling uneasy.
That's not the kind of look that a lawyer is going to want to have to explain.
That look
is news that Leilani Simon and Billie Joe Howell, little Quinton Simon's mom and grandmother, went out drinking at a Tybee Island bar just hours after federal investigators finished their first day searching through a landfill for Quinton's body.
Sickening. Pure sickness.
Neighbor Angela Ortega said she picketed outside Quinton's home for hours Wednesday.
I cannot believe how they're walking the streets and a baby is gone. How can you do that? How? I was sick. I said, what?
Brenda Krause was outraged too. Even still, she and her son Billy Smith,
it's just a very sad situation.
brought stuffed animals to add to the front yard memorial.
Just a way to help feel like you've done something, even if you're not really doing anything.
As the shrine to Quinton continues to grow, so does the number of people asking,
why, in your mind, do you think that they haven't charged or arrested her?
Former police officer and prosecutor Philip Holloway, who's not connected to the case, told WJCL 22 News police likely want to cross their T's before making any moves. But Holloway thinks they could be racking up more evidence while Leilani remains free.
They have the opportunity to watch her. They have the opportunity to put surveillance on her. It could be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're looking at who she's talking to, where she's going, what time of day she's coming, and what time of day she's going. And they are perhaps giving her an opportunity to provide them more evidence.
Regardless of all of that, FBI experts will be back at the landfill bright and early Friday morning, searching piece by piece. In Chatham County, I'm Andy Cole, WJCL 22 News.
All right, so there's that. And this article has a timeline, which is why I pulled it up. So let's take a look at the timeline on this. So Wednesday, October 5th, Quinton was seen around 6 a.m. in his playpen at his Buckhalter Road home. He is noticed missing around 9 a.m. and the police are contacted. Savannah Police mounted patrol. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Liberty County Sheriff's Office, K-19, and Chatham County Police, and a mosquito control helicopter. Never heard of one of those. Take part in the search. Neighbors also assist in the search without success. Buckhalter Road and nearby roads are temporarily closed during the day.
12 hours. That's how long a toddler has been missing in Savannah.
And this search is growing more desperate by the minute, especially as we get close to sunset. Our Kyra Naveau joins us live now from Buckhalter Road because, Kai, that is where the boy was last seen.
Greg and Shannon. So the toddler was last seen around 6 this morning in his playpen. Quinton Simon is his name, and as the sun goes down, the search becomes more urgent for that toddler. By air and by ground, the search for 20-month-old Quinton Simon continues. The toddler was last seen around 6 a.m. Wednesday in his Buckhalter Road home. Chatham County PD, Savannah Police's mounted patrol, mosquito control, and now the Federal Bureau of Investigation among those searching for the toddler. Neighbor Tyler Edenfield said he is also helping out.
We all met together and pretty much planned, and then we all took a trip down Girard, all in the woods, and we've been just about any area we could hit as far as, where they're concentrating at.
Quinton was last seen wearing a light blue Sesame Street shirt and black pants. He has light brown hair and brown eyes. Yeah, so pretty much this road, entire Buckhalter Road, and roads around the area have been closed down for a big part of the day to continue to spread out the search to look for Quinton. They say if you know anything about where Quinton may see, or even if you have any idea, to call 911. Back to you.
Kai reporting live. Thank you so much.
Thursday, October 6th, Chatham County Police Chief Jerry Hadley holds a press conference saying, in part, police are treating the case as a missing person investigation, and there is no evidence to indicate Quinton is no longer alive.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Chief Jeff Alley with the Chatham County Police Department, and we wanted to provide everyone with an update to the extent that we can on the
Can y'all hear
missing
that? Because I
Quinton
can't hear it.
Simon. We have yet to locate little
There it
Quinton.
is.
We continue to investigate this incident. We've got some assistance from the FBI. We got numerous interviews to conduct today, as well as downloading phones and things of that nature to try to bring this case to a conclusion. It still remains a missing child investigation at this point until we reach a different conclusion based on any evidence that we may find or any updates or developments that we may occur here today. Just to kind of recap what we have done, as you know, we had aviation out here yesterday all day or half of the day, providing air support. We had mounted patrol from Savannah Police Department, which we sincerely appreciate. We had SEMA and the volunteers doing a grid search, an area search, looking for little Quinton. And as of this morning, we still have yet to locate him. So a lot of work to do. Our investigators are working extremely hard. They were here till 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, and then came back in at 8 o'clock for a briefing, and are out here this morning continuing to investigate. So that is unfortunately all the update, substantive update that we have here this morning. I'd be happy to answer a few questions that you may have, and we'll go from there. So.
Chief, is foul play suspected at all in this disappearance?
As of this time, we have not had any evidence to lead us to believe foul play, but everything's on the table, honestly. So we're looking at this from many different angles. We're getting all the technology that we can, looking for cameras that were in the area, things of that nature. So, but as of this interview, we don't have anything of substance that would lead us to believe that. It's still a missing child investigation.
Do you know why it took 3 hours to report the child missing?
I don't know. It took 3 hours to report to the police. I haven't gotten into that level of detail when the mother noticed the child was missing. The only information that I have is that the boyfriend woke up, saw the child at 6 a.m. The mother woke up at some other time later, and then reported the child missing at 9:39. I believe the call came into 911. So the time difference and whatnot, I'm not privy to that level of detail at this second.
From what I understand, much of the morning, specifically when it did start getting light out, police weren't out there. Only recently now police are. So why wait, in those precious hours of daylight?
I wonder why he doesn't have that information. It seems like that would be basic information at that stage of the investigation. Yeah, I mean that whole throwing a kid in the trash thing, man, that gets under my skin so bad because it's like you're treating your kid like they're nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just throwing them away like trash. Like, oh, you're no better than an empty McDonald's fry box. You know what I'm saying? It's so freaking infuriating. Do anything else besides throw the kid in the trash, man. Leave them out in the woods or something. Toss them behind a bush. If you're that evil that you're gonna kill them, at least don't throw them in the trash. Not especially your own kid. Now, when you get cases like Cupcake McKinney, then those people threw her in the dumpster, but they didn't know her. They weren't any kin to her. They just randomly saw her, kidnapped her, and did what they did. You can't expect more than that from a literal monster, but from someone, especially a mother who carried this child, talked to it in his belly, felt his kick, was the first person to know that there was a life in there. A mother. You carried this baby and gave birth to them, and then you don't think any more of them than to throw them in the trash. Jesus, get out of here with that.
Please restate your question. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What I understood from a reporter on scene, or one of our reporters, there was much of daylight time this morning where police weren't out there. Kind of took a little bit. Can you kind of explain?
This morning?
Yeah.
So, well, we had conducted our area grid search yesterday. So we didn't believe that we had exhausted that geographic area where we felt perhaps if he wandered away, that he would be in that area. So we wanted to regroup this morning. We were out till 2 o'clock in the morning. Now we're narrowing it down to other small geographic areas, seeing if that would yield, finding Quinton. So we just felt that we had exhausted all of our geographic coverage area with what we did yesterday with the aviation, with the mounted patrol, with our drone, and we didn't feel that that would yield anything to be back at that exact location this morning.
How are the parents doing at this point from your perspective?
Well, I haven't talked to them personally. Obviously, they have been working with our detectives. I can only assume that they're, at this point, they're victims. They are dealing with the loss of a child. They're worrying and wondering where he may be at. And so, as any of us, if we were in that position, I would be terrified. Having 6 children of my own, if one of my children were missing, I'd be a mess, quite frankly.
And then follow up to that, does Quinton have any siblings? Were there any other brothers or sisters?
I believe there is an older sibling, maybe a year older or so. I think it's a boy, but I'm not 100% sure.
So the FBI was there yesterday to help. Is that customary, or were there certain aspects of the case that they thought it was necessary for them to come in? Will they continue to help with the investigation?
They will continue to help with the investigation. In this type, because it's a missing child, but there's also a potential it could have been abducted. Obviously, that falls within their wheelhouse. They're a great organization to work with. They have an enormous amount of resources that necessarily local law enforcement doesn't have, and their willingness to step in, provide additional manpower, as well as the resources that they have, which it is welcomed beyond belief. So, but because it's a missing and could be an abducted child, that's where it falls within their wheelhouse.
Do you believe Quinton to still be alive?
I hope he's still alive. We don't know. We don't have any information to believe he's not. But statistically, we know, how these cases may end up. So we're going to hold out hope that he's still alive, that we can find him and bring him home safe to his parents. But we'll continue to look at all angles and exhaust all investigative avenues.
What would be the indicators that would push it into an abduction? Like, what would be sort of the cases or the evidence you would need for it to go into an abduction type of investigation?
Well, if we receive some tip from the community that was substantive, that we could verify, that would lead us to that conclusion. If there was any type of video evidence or cell phone evidence that would lead us to believe in that that it would be that. So that would is what that would be. And let me say, I'm sorry I didn't mention, if anyone has information on Quinton Simon's disappearance, they can get on Chatham County Police Department crime tips on our website and put that information in there. They can also call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020 with any information that they may have.
Have you all been getting any tips?
I'm not aware of any at this point.
It's my understanding that Quinton's father lived north of here and is not in town when this all started happening. Is he here now with the rest of the family?
I'm not sure if he is here now. It is my understanding that he did live north of here and he was not here during the time of his disappearance.
Do you all have a search warrant for the home that Quinton lived in?
We did obtain a search warrant for the home. We're also obtaining other search warrants as of today, and we'll continue to execute those once we're able to secure those.
Do you know where those other search warrants are?
I do not.
What's kind of the plan for today in terms of the investigation?
Well, what I want to do is let the investigators do their work today, obtain those search warrants, execute those in a timely manner. Probably reassess sometime later today and see where we may need to pivot this investigation. If anything, any information comes out today that yields a different result, leads us in a different direction. But we'll regroup later on today. I want to give my investigators space to go on and do their job. They don't need me in their face every 5 seconds asking them 100 questions. They're very capable, along with the FBI, and we're going to work diligently till we come to a conclusion.
Have you talked with the mother?
I have not, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, it says WJCL speaks with Quinton's grandparents, Thomas and Billy Joe Howell, about the boy and the ongoing search. I haven't seen this.
Right now, the search continues for a missing toddler. 36 hours after he was reportedly last seen by his mother. Our Andy Cole joins us live now from Buckhalter Road in Savannah. Andy, you've been on this story all day. Tell us what's the latest.
Hey, good evening, Greg and Shannon. Investigators were out today searching for 20-month-old Quinton Simon, but still, they have not been able to find him. Earlier today, I did get a chance to check in with his grandparents, who, as you can imagine, are desperate for answers.
Do you believe Quinton is still be alive?
I hope he's still alive. We don't know. We don't have any information to believe he's not.
Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley is optimistic 20-month-old Quinton Simon is still alive. But as the hours tick by, hope is waning. Quinton's grandparents, Thomas and Billy Joe, say their daughter, Leilani, Quinton's mom, is just 22. And according to court records, Billy is Quinton's custodian.
She hasn't always done the right things. And sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't. And I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe, because I don't think anybody ever believes that this is going to happen to them. I don't know if I can trust her or if I don't. I just know I'm hurting, and I want this baby home.
We want
He's my
answers.
baby.
We don't have answers.
Quinton's grandparents tell me more than anything, they want answers.
Whether it's the answers we want to hear or answers we don't want to hear, we just want to know something.
It's just a baby.
Home where they all apparently lived last month. We've also learned that Leilani had a child support order filed against her just last week for both Quinton and his 3-year-old sibling. Shannon and Greg.
Andy, tough to hear that interview you did with the grandmother, but so poignant when she talks about the fact that it's just a baby. You've been pressing the police for answers. What's the latest on the investigation?
Yeah, Chatham County's police chief says that they have undergone, quote, multiple interviews today, and they were also working to download the data from Quinton's parents' phones. We'll, of course, keep you updated on air and online as more developments come through. Greg?
And if they're asking anyone with any information about that young child to call 911. Andy, reporting live. Thanks so very much.
This whole thing is crazy. Friday, October 7th, Chief Hadley provides an update on the case during his regularly scheduled presentation to Chatham County commissioners. In court documents obtained by WJCL, it is learned that the grandparents are the ones who have custody of Quinton and that the grandmother was trying to remove the child's mother, Leilani Simon, and her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, from the home. Chatham County Police issue a statement reading detectives are working 18 to 20 hours a day, and some outdoor searches continue, including a search of a pond. Searches are conducted on the home, a backyard pool, and the pond. Oh, that's interesting. Sunday, October 9th, CCPD issues a statement saying they are re-canvassing specific areas in search of Quinton. CCPD establishes a tip line for information surrounding the case, 912-667-3134. 912-667-3134. Monday, October 10th, Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley holds a press conference providing the latest on the investigation. Chatham Fire is called to the home to pump the backyard pool. WJCL requests the initial 911 call placed by Quinton's mom. The request is denied by the court attorney, citing an ongoing investigation. We want to make sure we do this as professionally and as expertly as we can. So if, and I say if, we have to prosecute anyone in this case, that we've done it right," said Chief Hadley. Now see, I'm with the police holding back all the details as long as they have a good reason, like we're trying to do it right. I know today we all feel entitled to have information on the spot. Show me, let me hear it, let me see it. But truth be told, it's better that the information is kept secret and it's not all out there for a potential offender to have information that could help them create an alibi or figure out a way to get away with it or something. The kids were taken from the grandma's custody.
Here's what's happening right now. The fifth day of
911 dispatch call obtained by WJCL shows that Quinton's mother found the front door open and said she believes someone came in and took him. Oh yeah, here we go.
searching comes to a
Came in and
close.
took him.
We're learning
Good
new
night.
information about the investigation into the disappearance of little Quinton Simmons, just 20 months old. Our Andy Cole has been on the story for days now, and he reports on the latest and shares the police radio the morning Quinton was first reported missing.
For the first time today, Chatham County Police Chief said there is a possible criminal element to this case. But still, 5 days in, Quinton is missing.
We have a signal 56.
You're hearing Chatham County Police dispatchers on Wednesday morning when Quinton Simmons went missing from his Buckhalter Road home in Savannah.
Complained about her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up, her door was open, but he's unable to open a door. I think someone came in and took him.
Fast forward 5 days to Monday.
Everybody is being looked at. Everybody is being interviewed.
For the first time since 20-month-old Quinton Simmons disappeared last week, Chatham County's police chief says there may be a criminal element to the investigation.
We're looking at it from multiple fronts, and one of it being a criminal investigation, as well as, a missing child at this point. We don't have anything confirmed, so we can't say anything absolutely.
On Monday, local law enforcement and federal agents researched the home where Quinton was last seen on Buckhalter Road. That included a sweep of the home. Police tarped up one of the windows early in the day and later took the obstruction down. Fire officials were on scene Monday as well. They used their fire hoses to drain the once full but murky backyard pool. Chief Hadley told reporters that dozens of FBI agents are here in Chatham County, desperately searching for Quinton.
They are here in a support role, and I can't thank them enough. You don't bring 40 people, and some from all over the country, without an enormous amount of effort and expense.
Also Monday, Chatham County denied an open records request filed by WJCL 22 News for the initial 911 call from Leilani Simmons, Quinton's mom, made the day of his disappearance. They say they are not releasing the call right now because it is part of a, quote, ongoing law enforcement investigation.
Kai says if the bio dad wanted their sons, they would have had no issues getting custody, but they didn't want them either. That's what it seems like. Tuesday, October 11th, Chatham County Police issue a statement saying they have seized evidence they believe will lead to closure in the investigation. And it says, we seized evidence that we believe will help move this case forward, and we're now working to analyze the evidence to see where it leads us. We continue to pursue all avenues to bring Quinton home, following all leads and evidence. There will be no further public statements today. All right, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children issues a statement on the case. The following is from John Bischoff, Vice President of the Division's Missing Children Division. As the search for Quinton Simon nears the 1 week mark, we encourage the community to keep sharing Quinton's story. This case has touched the hearts of countless people beyond the Savannah community, and anyone, no matter where you live, can get involved to help find him. Here at the National Center, we know that all it takes is one person to bring a missing child home. That's true. And we will not give up hope until Quinton is found. We're here to support law enforcement as they continue to work diligently to find Quinton and safely bring him home. Wednesday, October 12th, the Chatham County Police Department issues a statement which reads, "Today marked 1 week since Quinton Simon was reported missing. We will be at his home where he was last seen with a team of search dogs and investigators. We will spend day gathering and analyzing evidence. We expect to schedule a media briefing tomorrow." And that same day says, "We are saddened to report that CCPD and FBI have notified Quinton's family we believe he is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death, but no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed."
And tonight
Thursday, October 13th, Chatham County Police and the FBI held a joint press conference in which they said their search has led them to believe Quinton is dead, but nobody has been found, and the investigation is ongoing. The child's mother is the prime suspect, but has not yet been charged. Police say the investigation into what happened to Quinton remains ongoing. WJCL speaks with the legal expert about why Leilani could have been named as a prime suspect in the case ahead of criminal charges being filed. The Chatham County Police Department, this is Friday, October 14th, announces that they don't believe there will be any searches for Quinton through Sunday. Investigators will continue, however, to gather and analyze evidence during that time. Police and the Tuesday, October 18th, police and the FBI say Quinton's remains were placed in a dumpster and taken to a nearby landfill. Now, an extensive search of the landfill is underway in hopes of finding the child's remains. That is a lot of garbage that they have to go through, because that would be from around the 12th or 14th, around the 13th.
Lonnie, now there's a
So that's like 4 or 5 days worth of trash from all over the city. That's a lot to go through. And they got some videos of them searching the landfill. Wednesday, October 19th, the search continues at the landfill. Multiple witnesses say Leilani Simon and her mother, Billie Jo Howell, were seen drinking shots at a Tybee Island establishment. WJCL also learned that police were called to a Tybee motel twice after hecklers discovered Quinton's family members were staying there. That's crazy.
Victoria, thank you. Well, today marks 2 weeks since Savannah toddler Quinton Simon was reported missing, as investigators continue to search a Chatham County landfill for his body. Now, we've learned new information about the whereabouts of his mother, the prime suspect in this case.
Brooke Butler reporting from the nearby command center. She has new insight tonight about where the prime suspect's mother, Leilani, was recently seen.
We want justice for Quinton, just like everybody else.
As investigators wrapped up their first official day of searching at this Chatham County landfill, Quinton's mother, Leilani, and grandmother, Billie Jo Howell, were spotted miles away on Tybee Island. The host of a popular bar and restaurant tells me they were taking shots at their establishment and being, quote, very loud. This just hours after police announced they believe Quinton's body was thrown away like trash.
We believe that he was placed in a specific dumpster at a specific location, and it was brought here by regular means of disposal.
The mother and daughter were spotted again Wednesday morning at a Tybee Island motel. Police confirmed with WJCL they were called to Sandcastle Inn twice over people, quote, exercising their First Amendment rights and shouting at the motel. They say no arrests were made and no police report was filed, but a woman who identified herself as Billie Jo told officers she would be leaving and wouldn't come back. When we were there at around 1 in the afternoon, there was no sign of the two, but police don't believe.
Doesn't that kind of remind you of Casey Anthony, though? Because when her baby was missing, quote unquote, she was out partying, taking pictures, doing wet t-shirt contests and all kind of crap. But her baby was missing. apparently have been missing for what, a month or something. I'll never understand how people do that. Like, but then again, this is also a mother who they believe threw this child in the trash. So if she didn't care any more about him or think any more highly of him than to throw him out in the trash, she probably don't have a grieving bone in her body. That's why she's out partying. But how about the grandma? Like, I'm a grandma, and let me tell you, if I had if my grandkid was missing, me and their parent would not be out partying because I wouldn't allow it. Second of all, if they named my child as the number one suspect, instead of drinking with them, I'd probably be going upside their head with a 2x4 to make them tell me where that baby is and what happened. So, geez, even grandparents ain't like they used to be no more.
Leilani's a flight risk. As for why she hasn't been arrested yet,
Because we're not ready to charge anyone yet. We still have work to do. We still have an investigation to do, and we are not going to do anything preemptively that would harm future prosecution.
now it could take investigators days, weeks, even months to find Quinton Simon's remains, but they're determined to do so he can get the final resting place he deserves. Reporting in Chatham County, I'm Brooke Butler, WJCL.
Crazy. This whole case is crazy, though. That whole case is just a big. And somebody said it's like the Summer Wells case. It is. It's starting to act like the Summer Wells case. Here's a case that I saw that I want to share because this is. I just really don't even know what to say or think about some of these people anymore. Says malnourished Texas twins escaped handcuffs when boy found key and hid it in his mouth overnight, court records say. The teen siblings fled from their home where they had been abused for months. They were forced to drink bleach, beaten with curtain rods, and burned, court documents said. Two malnourished teen siblings in Texas escaped from handcuffs at their home this week when one of them found a key in his mother's purse and hid it in his mouth until it was safe to flee. 15-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, said they were handcuffed in a laundry room. The boy who found the key to the restraints said he waited to make their escape until their mother and her boyfriend were sleeping, according to court documents filed in Harris County. Deputies with the Harris County Constable Precinct 5 office were called to a home on Cypress where the teens had fled to about 5:30 a.m. Tuesday. The twin siblings were covered with bruises, barefoot, and were partially clothed. The siblings stated that they were starving. The documents alleged the teens had faced months of abuse beginning in July at the hands of their mother, Zakiya Duncan, 40, and her boyfriend, Jova Terrell, 27. The constable's office alleges the teens were subjected to abuse that included being forced to drink bleach or have oven cleaner sprayed in their mouth if they, quote, talked too much, unquote. The teens were also beaten with extension cords, curtain rods, and metal poles, according to police records, court records. The record said that there is probable cause for Duncan to be charged with aggravated assault and aggravated assault on a family member with a previous conviction. Terrell, the court record said, could be charged with continuous violence against the family. After authorities found the teens, it took the constable's office hours to figure out which home they fled from because the teens had only recently moved there, the spokesman with the constable's office said this week. When deputies finally went to Duncan and Terrell's home, they were gone. An Amber Alert was then issued for 5 more of Duncan's children, ages 7 to 14. Louisiana State Police said the couple was detained during a traffic stop in the Baton Rouge area Tuesday afternoon and arrested on fugitive charges out of Harris County. A juvenile was in the car with the couple, the police said. 5 other children who were dropped off at a relative's house near Baton Rouge were later identified and accounted for. I want to find the video on this because, let's see, Texas teen twins escape. Okay, here is some doorbell video. They went house to house, man, and most people turned them away. And they finally made it to someone who opened the door for them.
Abusive home with his twin that we told you about yesterday, hid the key to their handcuffs in his mouth. He waited for his mother and her boyfriend to fall asleep so he could unlock the restraints and finally run away.
Well, that disturbing detail was revealed in new court documents filed against their mother, who's now waiting for extradition. ABC 13's Gina Gaston has more.
I heard the doorbell and I thought it was just me dreaming. So I was like, ignored it, went back to sleep.
That neighbor's dream was actually those teenagers' nightmare finally coming to an end. Escaping from their new home in Cyprus, where they live with their mom, Zakiah Duncan, her boyfriend, Jova Terrell, and several of their siblings. And now we are learning more about what they endured in that house. Court documents filed in Harris County include the interview the 16-year-olds gave detectives. The twins saying they were forced to drink bleach, had corrosive oven cleaner sprayed in their mouths, and were routinely beaten and burned. During the interview, police say the girl was wearing a gray plastic grocery bag around her neck. She said that's what she had to use as a shirt.
They did not hold a single thing back. They were saying that the mom had them in handcuffs in the laundry room, that they were not allowed to eat, but it was just all he could think about was food. He said, we're starving. And
court records also say the children said all they were given to eat was mustard, relish, or bologna sandwiches, 3 times a week at most. They say they had to drink from a water supply valve from the washing machine. And to fall asleep, they say they were forced to take dangerous amounts of Benadryl pills. Sadly, that level of alleged abuse had become routine. 10 years ago, their mother was arrested for cruelty to a juvenile in 2012 in their hometown of Baton Rouge. She took a parenting class as part of probation, and the charge was reduced.
It breaks my heart, and I'm really hoping that this time they actually do something.
Duncan appeared in the Louisiana courtroom in a straitjacket. Police say she fled to Baton Rouge Tuesday after the children escaped with her other children and that boyfriend who's facing charges too. Their bond has been denied, and they'll eventually be brought back to Harris County.
Oh boy. The more and the more that
Brianna just mentioned breaking news
the worse and the worse that it gets, man. And she had 2 sets of twins. She had another set of twins too, and the other 5 children that they were looking for at first, 2 of them were a set of twins. I don't know if they were identical twins, fraternal twins, boy and girl, 2 girls, 2 boys, or what, but there is another set of twins involved in this case. And I'm wondering if those twins were subjected to any abuse too. It seems like I heard it reported that both sets of twins were abused, but the younger set of twins just wasn't as abused as the older set was. A little bit of the Cinderella phenomenon going on there. So this is going to be the last one. This is Harmony Montgomery. So we all know Harmony Montgomery's case timeline. I'm not going to go through the whole timeline. She had been missing for quite a while before she was actually reported missing. We know about the police trying to talk to her dad at first, and him telling him if he's not under arrest, he's leaving or whatever. All the searches that have been performed, digging up the backyard at one of the places that they used to live, taking the refrigerator out of another place. There's all the scandal and horrible details that that have been coming out about this case over time. We know that her dad is a certified POS, and we know that he escalated his criminal behavior from threatening people to pushing people out of cars to stabbing people to shooting someone in the face and now murdering his own daughter. We're going to watch this video clip and then I'm going to get out of here because I've already been on here over an hour. I can't believe that. Okay, so that's just a timeline video. I thought it was going to be a video discussing the murder charges on the father. Let me type that in and let's get clarification on exactly what he was charged with. Knows the murder charge, don't know what level murder charge. Here we go. To CNN. Second-degree murder. Father of 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery charged with second-degree murder in connection with her death. Would you just look at that piece of crap? The father of missing 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder in connection with her death, New Hampshire Attorney General John Formella said on Monday. Adam Montgomery, 32, was also charged with falsifying physical evidence, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with a witness or informants, Formella announced at a Monday news conference. Harmony was reported missing in November 21 by her mother, Crystal Sorey, who said she saw the girl doing a FaceTime call in the spring of 2019. Police said Harmony was last seen October 19th, and investigators concluded that in August that the 5-year-old had been murdered. Formella said that Montgomery recklessly caused the death of his daughter. I can't read today. Under circumstances manifesting an extreme indifference to the value of life by repeatedly striking Harmony in the head with a closed fist in Manchester on or about December 7th, 2019. Adam destroyed, concealed, or hid Harmony's body between December 7th and March 4th, preventing authorities from conducting a proper investigation, Formella said. Formella also said Adam purposely attempted to induce or otherwise cause Harmony's stepmother, Kayla Montgomery, to falsely testify in the investigation into Harmony's disappearance between December 7th and January 4th. Montgomery is scheduled to be arraigned at Hillsborough County Superior Court, Northern District in Manchester on Tuesday. CNN reached out to Adam's attorneys, Carolyn Smith and Paige Buckley, for comment. At Monday's news conference, Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg emotionally thanked those who helped find justice for Harmony. Although we are all pleased that we are able to bring forth these charges, they are of no solace to myself, the detectives behind me who have worked tirelessly on this investigation, and more importantly, they bring no solace to the loved ones of Harmony Montgomery and her family and friends. Truer words have never been spoken. So, like I said, I just wanted to go over a few cases. Some of them we're just updating because there's new information. Some of them there's no new information, but I just want to keep those names out there. Bianca Blaze, Larry Rhodes Jr., Terrell Rhodes out in Las Vegas. I want to keep those names and faces out there so that we can all remember to, send those vibes and prayers toward conviction and justice in all these cases, because these babies, literally babies, man, these babies did nothing to deserve what happened to them. They did nothing to bring this stuff on themselves. And for the people who did these foul, horrible unspeakable things to these children with the beatings and the torture and the oven cleaner and murder and punching babies in the head. They all need to fry. That's just pretty much what it is. There is a special place in the subsection of hell for every single one of them. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see justice served. I will be back later on tonight. We're going to talk about Domestic Violence Awareness Month stuff, and tonight's topic is going to be men can be victims too. I think that we should all kind of come over and watch that, because I think that's going to be some good information, because I know even me, even knowing that men can be victims too, whenever I hear domestic violence, I automatically think of a female victim and a male perpetrator. And I'm sure a lot of people think that way. You know, it might dawn on you later, hey, yeah, it could have been a man or whatever. But I really want to put a spotlight on the fact that men can be victims too. I've seen it with my own eyes. So I will see you guys later. I think I have that scheduled for 10. I've been trying to do it for the last couple of days, but little old Bubby don't like to go to sleep. She want to stay up and hang out with Gigi. So I think me and Bubby are going to meet our friend Melatonin tonight. All right. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys in a few hours.